everyone, and welcome back. Well, sort of. Welcome back to part 2 of Death Before Dawn? I think that's what it was called. I guess we'll find out in a few quests. I've seen the patch notes, and there's apparently only 3 quests, so either part 2 is going to be quite short, or these are quite long quests. Anyways, the company we keep, let's get straight in this. I'm very excited to see what is going to lead into Endwalkers. Endwalker? Is that what it was called? I can't remember. Never mind. Alice can tell you are itching to take the fight to the Telephoroi. Telephoroi? Sure. Pagelthan. Ah, Alex, you're looking well. I take it you managed to squeeze in some rest. If you came hoping for tidings from Kryl, I'm afraid we're still waiting. But we still do have some odd scraps of news to share. Scraps, they say. Lunar primals have been popping up all over the place. But the Alliance has the situation well in hand, thanks in no small part to Horribold and the others. Meanwhile, talks with the Beast Tribes are going even better than expected, encouraged by Uldar's progress with the Amal Jar. Gridania has opened negotiations with the Ixal, believe it or not. All of which is obviously very encouraging, but with the Telephoroi still out there, it's not as if we can afford to lower our guard.
Begging your pardon, but I come bearing an invitation from the Alliance.
Even though I always give the Alamigo people a much more Geordie accent, but whatever.
A council meeting is due to be held in Alamigo, and your attendance is humbly requested.
Ah, we were just talking about the Alliance. May I ask what's on the agenda?
I believe the intention is to share news of recent developments, and discuss what measures might be taken to combat the Telephoroi, in concert with our new allies. The Beast Tribes have also been invited. It is hoped that they will join us in the fight against our common foe.
So, the Alliance would bring all of the Beast Tribes into the fold at a single stroke. An ambitious plan given the delicacy of our negotiations, but mayhap an expedient one, considering the threat we face.
Indeed, my lady, and for their part, I'm told the Beast Tribes have agreed to attend. If the Scions too are present, all of Eorzea will be represented.
Yeah. To arrange such a meeting must have been quite an undertaking, not only diplomatically, but practically. Pray inform the Alliance that we would be honoured to participate. We shall make for Alamigo without delay.
And I shall bear your answer thither with all haste. We look forward to receiving you at the Royal Palace.
Well, now that we've accepted the invitation, who exactly is going to attend? I move that you and your Stola lead our contingent. Given how long you have worked to end summoning, it is only right that you be present for what promises to be a historic moment. I think we've all played our part in this little endeavour, don't you, Alex?
All present may rightly claim a seat, I do agree. By your leave, I believe I shall remain here and lend what assistance I can to the coordination of our defensive efforts.
I'm not coming either. Emmerich will be there, and I'd rather not be interrogated. Rough Batman voice. Very well then. While those with a mind to hold the fort get on with holding it, I suggest the rest of us make for Alamigo. Shall we?
Ba 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 da da da. Doodles. Don't forget to bring me something nice from Alamigo.
Don't worry, I have no plans to return to roaming in your absence. I know you'd only chase me if I did.
I shall take this opportunity to gain a better understanding of Sir Astinian. Being Elazin of like age, 'tis possible we have interests in common. Mayhap I shall begin by lending him my favourite treaties or two from my collection. Yes. Yes, I'm sure he'll be a big fan of those. Where are we going? Beacon Quarter, I think. Seems like the most likely option. Achoo! Oh, we have found the gathering crowd. Like the city-states, every beast tribe has its factions, each with their own agenda, making peace a complex proposition. But if the Alliance can come to an understanding with the leaders, it will be for them to resolve internal politics. The Maljar cannot be the only tribe that have been targeted by the Telephoroi, and none of them will have taken kindly to having their people enslaved, nor their gods turned against them. Graha in a chocobo butt? I suppose I am, and the fact that our cure for tempering made it possible only heightens my anticipation. I'm guessing you're talking to someone? Honestly, the look on your face, eager to bear witness to another historic moment by any chance? Ah, yes, that was them two talking. Even with the swift intervention of the immortal flames, all too many lost their lives in Pagalthan. Still, closer cooperation between our peoples will be required if we are to thwart the plans of the Telephoroi. We've been expecting you! While some few guests have yet to arrive, the Alliance leaders are all present. Shall I show you in? Yes, please do, sir. I'm guessing this is going to be a voiced scene. Feels like an important enough one.
Esteemed guests, you honor us with your presence. As there is much to discuss, let us begin.
Information on our taken brethren you have, yes? Hear it we would! Beyond forgiveness these featherless ones are! With rivers of blood shall they pay! Freed our people must be!
We too would see your kin liberated. But ere we attempt their rescue, we must first find a means to negate the risk of tempering. Without that, we will be unable even to approach the towers, let alone contend with their defenders.
If all else fails, I've always found cannonballs quite effective.
And what of the prisoners? Would you see them slaughtered?
Think for a moment. Ponder, consider, think. If Merlwyb truly intended to bombard the towers, she would have done so by now. Remember, we came here to find a solution together, did we not?
Y'Stola spoke of defenders. I but offered a means to clear a path, should you require it.
Given the enemy's capabilities, we will all need to play our part if we are to have any chance of success. For if any here should give less than their best, it will be to the cost of every living being on this star.
A paragon, the Empire, our very gods. How can we hope to prevail against such odds?
That our foe is formidable, none would deny. But our strengths are many and varied. In this chamber, I see masters of strategy, masters of magic, masters of the land, the air, and the sea. And together, there is nothing in creation we cannot overcome. I beg your pardon?
What is it, Soulwalker? Do not express your passion thus. A little pretty will have gills, perhaps. Suffice it to say, I am proud to be counted amongst Eorzea's finest. We Sahagin will play our part.
We kobolds have not forgotten the crimes the Overdwellers committed against us in the past. But today we look to the future, as allies united in purpose.
Make mock of the Ixal, the Paragon does! Turns kin into puppets! Pits brother against brother! Free them from his grasp, we shall!
As Patriarch Zadar will attest, the Scions have granted us a means to free your brethren from their thraldom. This boon we will gladly share, that your people might never be enslaved again.
We accept! We accept!
Praise me!
It's taken a while, but I do believe we might be one step closer to a world without primals. Would that Minfilia were here to see it.
We still have a long way to go, and we're going to need a lot more Porksies. But we're moving in the right direction.
If I may have your attention, there is one other point I would like to raise. As we can all agree, freeing those held captive must take precedence over every other concern. But experience has taught us that none save those with the capacity to resist tempering can hope to enter the towers unscathed. And even once inside, a still greater threat may yet await them, that which we call a primal. Needless to say, if we are to succeed, engaging with such foes can only ever be considered a last resort. And so I move that we seek to prevent them from being summoned in the first place.
Yes! Both prayer and ether are needed for the ritual. Should either one be denied, the summoning would fail.
Indeed. And so we must endeavor to discover the source of the ether on which the process depends. Do so, and it may present a way to halt the summonings, or perhaps even neutralize the towers entirely.
A promising proposal. While you are conducting your investigations, however, we will need to remain vigilant, lest the Telophoroi commit further abductions and summon primals ere we have the means to prevent them. To stand a better chance of keeping our enemy at bay, we would do well to coordinate our defensive efforts, sending reinforcements to assist our neighbors when needed.
We Amalja would have been overwhelmed were it not for our newfound allies. But say the word, and we shall come.
I see we are all in accord. But what are we to call this proud fellowship of ours? I submit that the honor of naming it should go to the scion whose brave efforts have done so much to unite Eorzea. What say you, my friend?
Don't put it on me. I like that. There's that, or there's okay, give me a minute. Oh god, I'm gonna have to go back and see this scene. I want to know what that says. But yes, I would call it the Grand Company of Eorzea. I will not click that button. Oops.
But that's the name I...
A fine choice, for there is none here who does not love Eorzea.
Aye, in that we shall ever be united.
United in our gratitude for the realm that gave us life.
Then let it be recorded that on this day, the Grand Company of Eorzea was born.
How long have we dreamed of this moment? And now that it's here, Oh, forgive me. Might we speak outside?
Oh, back to the crowds. We have won over the leaders. Now, we have won. Brain, come back, Brain. We have won over the leaders. Now the leaders, it's just bad writing putting the words so close to each other confuses. Now the leaders must win over their own people. No small task, I grant you, but we have come a long way since we first joined with Nymphelia to bring an end to summoning. A long, long way. The Grand Company of Eorzea. I wonder what Real and the former Crystal Braves will make of it. Forgive me for observing, but Alphino seemed less than jubilant. Might his thoughts still be occupied on the fate of poor Armvold? It's a pity. It took the threat of annihilation for everyone to cast the grievances aside, but better late than never, I suppose. Oh, thank God it's a scene. Not voiced, but still away from the crowds. Well, now that we are out of earshot of the other delegates, I hope you will forgive me if I speak my mind. Let me begin by saying that I have dreamed of this day since the moment I first set foot upon these shores, and that I was heartened as anyone to see the peoples of Eorzea pledging their solidarity. Yet, even as they uttered their declarations, all I could think about was the conflict to come, of the sacrifices that would be made, and the lives lost, inevitabilities that I struggle to accept.
But at least now there is hope. The formation of the Grand Company of Eorzea is the first step. The first of many. Many and more. Ah, it's you. Elder Seedseer, how might we be of service? I seek Master Elfino's assistance in a matter involving Britannia's neighbours, the Sylphs. I know you and yours have long kept a weather eye upon the crystal trade, the better to predict the coming of primals, and so you'll be familiar with the Sylphs of the Ash Crown Consortium. God damn it. Keep pressing the wrong buttons. Through their dealings, they have cultivated relations with not only the city-states, but many other communities besides. Communities such as the Beast Tribes. Just so. It is our hope that we may make use of the Sylphs' established lines of communication to coordinate the efforts of our new fellowship. Yet there remain certain practical differences between a trade consortium and a grand company. If the Sylphs are to perform their task effectively, they will require the counsel of one versed in the operational aspects of an armed force. An armed force founded with the selfsame goal in mind, no less. The Crystal Braves, yes. Forgive me, Master Elfino. I know that it was a painful chapter in your life, but the experience may yet be made to serve the realm. In my hubris, I plotted a course for the Crystal Braves which stretched far beyond the Order's initial conception, one intended to pave the way for the founding of what I intended to call the Grand Company of Eorzea. But my plans all came to naught. Built upon a frail foundation of lofty ideals, the Order was doomed from the first to collapse under the weight of more worldly interests. And I have no wish to see this new endeavour suffer the same fate. Mayhap I ask too much of you? Not at all. You may count upon my assistance, for what little it is worth. By your leave, I shall prepare a report, including a list of recommendations drawing on the lessons I learned from the failures of the Crystal Braves. You have my gratitude, Master Alphino, and my trust. When your report is ready, pray share it directly with the Sylphs. With your guidance and the earnest efforts of every goodly soul gathered here this day, I have no doubt that our fellowship shall emerge from the shadow of the Telephoroi and flourish until next we meet, my friends. Before committing anything to writing, there are a number of people whose thoughts I should like to hear. Former Braves, you understand. Might you join me in seeking them out? I think there ain't no excuse. Sure, as if you had to ask. Thank you. As someone who's witnessed the Order's rise and fall, yours would be a reassuring presence. I'll join you. If you're planning to canvass the opinions of your former comrades, it would be a lot quicker if we share the task of questioning them. Then mayhap Graha can lend a hand as well. I shall accompany Thancred back to the Rising Stones. Between us, I dare say we should be able to provide an accurate enough account of the day's events. We would be glad of your company. We would be glad of your company, Graha. I shall explain the details on the way. I like how he's just said that Graha, not to his sister. It will not be easy to revisit the past, but sometimes one must look back to see the way forward. I take it we will soon be paying the Sylphs a visit. How fascinating! It it will be to speak to them in person, though I gather conversation can provide rather challenging. So what's the plan, brother mine? Before discussing the task at hand, I should probably admit that the report I proposed is largely written. Not long after the fateful day in Uldar, I penned a detailed account of the organization's history, from the events that led to its inception to the failings that brought about its demise. This I did primarily as a means of taking some semblance of responsibility. Never did I imagine that it might later be referred to by those seeking to form a similar organization. And while I made every attempt to be objective, the account was mine alone. Its events viewed from my singular perspective. For it to be of use, however, it must be broadened to encompass the viewpoints of all involved. Only then can it answer what seems to me to be a crucial question. Namely, why, after the Crystal Braves disbanded, did some members choose to remain with us while others did not? I see. You think the answer will tell us something about the nature of the ties that bind our new grand company together, and that this knowledge might help us prevent it from falling apart when those bonds are inevitably tested. Well, that is my hope, yes. But the questions I would ask are uncomfortable to some. Oh my god, it got so dark suddenly. As the former commander of the Crystal Braves, I doubt that those who abandoned the cause would welcome my inquiries. Then Graha and I will just have to try. Meanwhile, the two of you could talk to the ones who kept the faith. A fine suggestion. Have care, however. Certain of my former comrades are of questionable character, so keep your wits about you, and let us reconvene in Gridania later on. If you have no objections, I have a mind to begin by speaking with Rio, which I'm sure I remember that was pronounced Wire, but whatever. Or is that someone else? And Alian. If memory serves, the two of them will be attending an intelligence briefing at Castrum Oriens. Let us seek them out there. Who's Castrum Oriens? Oh, right, it's that one. Right. Tally-ho! Away from the crowds and probably into a secondary crowd, no doubt. Ah, the joys of actually doing this on patch day. Oh, it's so quiet. It's so quiet. Oh no, there's people here. While such briefings are seldom exciting affairs, their importance in coordinating our efforts with our allies cannot be overstated. In that regard, Elaine and Real have been most dependable. Oh, I didn't expect to see you here, Alexander. But if you enjoy intelligence briefings, you've come to the right place. Well, look who it is! And what brings you two here? Wouldn't have anything to do with a big meeting, would it? In a matter of speaking, I've been assigned to a task, you see, for which I require the assistance of former members of the Crystal Braves. So, you want to know why we decided to stick with the science, eh? Ain't an easy thing to put into words, that. As I once explained to Alexander, I spent a long time agonizing over my failure to alert you to the traitor in our midst. For my negligence, I was captured among the many along with many others, and we were powerless to prevent the tragedies that ensued. Not a day goes by that I do not think back to those fateful events. By joining the Scions, I hope to redeem myself, and will continue to serve the cause for as long as I am able. But that wasn't the only reason. When we were finally reunited at the Rising Stones, you refused to blame anyone but yourself for the fall of the Crystal Braves. And in spite of everything that had happened, everything you had suffered, you took us back without a moment's hesitation. We would not have blamed you had you turned us away, but when you gave us your trust instead, what else could we do but try to repay it? Nothing, that's what. As for my own tale, well, I've always felt the Scions had something in common with my old crew. The duty of the strong is to protect the weak. That was our creed, and I still strive to live by it to this day. But as time goes on, I've learned that strength comes in many shapes and sizes. From Ori Boulder to Mistress Tataru, we've all got something to offer. And not one of us is doing it for personal gain. Of course, we believe there's more important things than that. Things worth protecting. Which is what being a Scion's all about. I am at a loss for words. Thank you, my friends. To hear this from you means more than you know. Forgive me, Alex. Could you give us your thoughts on the Crystal Braves? What do you think the Crystal... Why do you think the Crystal Braves ended in failure? I'm interested in that. Well, it's fair our deals were something to be proud of, but our deals alone don't make a crew. For every swab who signed up with good intentions, there was another who was only in it for the coin, the glory, or both. Ours was quite a disparate band, and while I will never forgive Ilbert, the fact that we managed to function at all was thanks in large part to his efforts. Just a pity he was doing it for the wrong reasons, eh? Only takes one bad apple, they say, and the and the Braves had a barrel full of them. Not like the Scions. We might look like a ragtag band of misfits, but deep down we've all got that shared sense of purpose. And why? Cause Tataru sifted out all the glory hunters before they made it through the door. I see. So while our ranks comprise a diverse range of people, each with their own individual strengths, we are all united in purpose. Thank you, my friends. With your permission, I shall make a record of our discussion and refer to it when drafting my recommendations. Until we meet again. The company we keep. Do 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 do.